Hey guys, so I'm back with another video today. I hope you guys enjoy it. And let's get started. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I bedazzled these pink Victoria's Secret slides. So this is how the slides looked when I first purchased them. They were black with white lettering. So what I wanted to do is use this pink neon color that I had to match those rhinestones. And then cover the rest of the slide with the AB rhinestones. So the pink I had was a bit light for the rhinestones, so I went on ahead and mixed up the pink with the pale blue, and I got more of a magenta color. So I liked that more, so I went on ahead and applied that. I did one coat, and honestly it came out really thin, so I let that dry, and then I applied a second coat, and I let that dry. So I was ready to bling out. So here I was done with the first coat, and I was ready to move on to the second coat. So as you can see, the second coat really helped a lot. I didn't care about perfection because I just needed it to be a background for the rhinestones, so you couldn't see none of the white. So this was the final product once I did the second coat. So I'm going to be using the Multi-Grab 360. It's the same exact thing as the E6000. I have my rhinestones ready to go, and I'm going to begin. So I did a thin layer of the glue to begin. Most of the lettering for the pink was size 16. I had a few 20s and some smaller sizes to fill it in. But overall, it was mostly size 16. So I continued to do the rest of the word. And one little quick tip: if you guys don't have your Angelus paint, you can use a Sharpie. I didn't have the pink Sharpie, so that's why I used my paint that I had. It's completely up to you how you want to do your lettering, whether it's a different color or just leave it white. This is just what I did. And also, if you are a perfectionist and you go over the white line of the lettering, you can always remove it with some acetone. It will come right off. Just damp it a little bit and it will come off. And now I'm working on the last letter. I'm just about done. And if you guys ever put a bit of glue at one spot like I just did, you can easily even it out with a toothpick. I like to show you guys how to use stuff that you have at home. So instead of buying, expensive fancy tools, if you're just beginning, show you how you can use stuff at home. If you don't have a pickup tool, use a crayon. I'm pretty sure you guys have kids and your kids have a lot of crayons. So now I'm gonna begin by blinging out the outer of the slide. So work my way from the out of the slide to the inner side of the slide. So like I said, I'm gonna go all around the slide first, and then I'm gonna fill in the inside. And for the rest of the slide, like these, I'm using the AB rhinestones. I'm using size 20. So here, as you can see, I am done with the outline, and now it's time to fill it in. So like I said, this is a perfect example of how I use a toothpick. I use it to even out the glue, make sure it's not too bulky. It's not gonna go through the rhinestones, you know? So, yeah. Now I'm filling it in. I'm doing row by row, as you can see. You're barely starting to rhinestone. I've said, do one line. I recommend doing one line at a time. But once you get the hang of it, you can start doing multiple lines at the same time. So here you can see there's starting to be some gaps in between the pink color rhinestones and the AB rhinestones. So what I did was just fill those in like I would do for any other situation, with some other AB rhinestones, just smaller sizes. So for the gaps, for the whole slide, I used sizes from 16 to 3 SS. So it was just a variety of different sizes I used. So yeah, like I said before, it's always good when you're purchasing your rhinestones. If you're buying little packs, whether it's on Amazon or whatever, they always have usually they always have choices where you can buy a mixed pack of a variety of sizes. I would always recommend you buying that if you're just starting off and you don't have money to buy every single size rhinestone. Just buy a mixed pack, and then you should have enough to fill in little gaps like for these, So yeah, a mixed pack, remember that. So here I'm getting to the end, and the rhinestones didn't fit perfectly. So obviously I'm gonna have to fill in those gaps with some smaller rhinestones. And that's why it's important to start, when you're gonna start filling it in, start from the outside in, because in the inside, that's where your feet are close together, and what people are gonna be looking at mostly is the outside, this side of the slide, So whichever side you're doing, start on the outer part in, so your gaps will be filled in the inside of the slide. Just a little tip. Also, another quick tip, when you're filling in gaps, always make sure that the rhinestones actually fit. If they don't fit, take it off and put another one that's gonna fit, because if it's too big and it's hanging off, it's gonna fall off. So always make sure the rhinestones fit. So you see these rhinestones don't quite fit at the end, so I just fill them in. And it's not going to be noticeable because it's the inner side of the shoe. So people are not looking, they're not saying, oh, let me see the inside of your shoe, you know. They're just looking at the outside, and this side is perfect. As you can tell, it's all lined up nicely. And on the other side, it's filled in, but nobody's going to be looking at that, so it doesn't matter. So now I'm working in the bottom half of the slide, and what I would recommend, another tip, start out, since I'm already done with the top half, and I'm doing the bottom half, start from the bottom up, because if you have to fill in around the lettering, the pink lettering, you know, you can fit little rhinestones. But if you have a line at the bottom that you're gonna have to fill with tiny rhinestones, it's not gonna match up and it's not gonna look pretty. So work from your way up. You see how right now I'm going from the bottom up to that, so it looks nice and neat. So right here I was just filling in the tiny gaps with the 4SS, and that's why I had so close to me. It was a bit off frame, sorry. So here I'm just about done with the first slide, and like I said, from the bottom up, it's gonna look much better, trust me. So I'm just filling those gaps in, and I'm done with the first one. This is how it looked. So now I'm working on the second slide, and I'm doing the same exact thing I did on the first one. I filled in the pink lettering, then now I'm gonna do the rest of the slide. So yeah, remember the tips I've told you. Start from the outside in. You see how right here I'm doing the outside in, because you're not gonna see those gaps on the outside. The gaps are not gonna show up until you get to the inner part of the slide. And also about the mix pack, whatever rhinestone color you're gonna purchase, if you don't have money to spend like that, just buy the mix pack, and that should be enough to fill in gaps for a few projects, you know, depending on what you're doing. So yeah, and work your way up. When you're starting from the top half, work from the top down to the middle, and then when you get to the bottom half, work from the bottom up. And double check your rhinestone alignment, because you can see the bottom line was a little bit crooked right there until I realized and I fixed it. But yeah, so I finished this one up. It looks beautiful, and these were my final results. So yeah, like always, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really loved how these came out. I would totally do them again, another different color. Highly recommended, and it took me less than a day to finish these. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and see you guys in the next video.